I'm Tina Hurd Winston. I'm the oldest of the Hurd trio. The question was asked, how did I start my reading journey? So my reading journey actually starts in another country, in Germany. When I was a child, my father was in the military, and and I was a military brat. And the earliest thing I can remember reading and just could not get enough of was comic books. And I read the Archies, and I read Thor, and I was reading Black Panther and all kinds of comics when I was a little girl. And I can remember that being just an amazing experience. When we came back to the United States, one of the things my mother did for me as a treat was that she enrolled me in the Book of the Month Club. And every month, these books would come magically to the house. I got a chance to be able to read just a variety of different books, and I absolutely loved it. It was fantasy come true. As I got older, I started reading just anything I can get my hands on. I mean, seriously, guys, I've read the encyclopedia. I mean, I've read everything. And I got to a point where we would go to these like scholastic book fairs, and I would be so excited to get me a couple of new books. I started reading some of the classics and some of the books that most young people read: Flowers in the Attic, um, Are You There, God? Is Me, Margaret. To this day, I remember, I must increase my bust as something that I remember reading and just completely identified with. Along the way, around seventh grade, I had a teacher who was extremely influential to me, and he was telling us about African American authors. And I became obsessed with trying to read as many books as I possibly can read by African American authors. Because up until that point, I had not been exposed to any African American authors, didn't know that they existed, and I was hooked. And I went to my school's library and took out every book that had a black author. Loved that opportunity. And I kept reading, exploring different options when I got into high school and everything. And some way I ended up at Third World Press. And I was there just searching, just searching through different books, searching through opportunities. And there was a clerk, and the clerk asked me, was asking, whether or not I liked speculative fiction or sci-fi. And I have to be honest, you guys, I am a big Trekkie. So I was like, yeah, I love sci-fi. And he recommended Octavia Butler. It literally changed my life. And so from there, I've been hooked on speculative fiction. That's my go-to. That's what I'm passionate about. And I read, anything. So science fiction. I read Sword and Soul. I read fantasy books, horror books. I like whodunits. I like mysteries. I like a lot. So my journey with reading is continuing, it's ongoing, and it's not changing. So I'm excited.